Public speaking can bring up a range of emotions in most people. If the emotion you feel ranges from apprehensive to terrified, this video is going to help you leverage those emotions into the power you need to deliver an amazing presentation. Remember, the number one job of your brain is to keep you safe. And the fear of public speaking is somewhat in our DNA because it's a lot like when we were living in small tribes on the savannah and the eyes of a wild animal or warring tribe were peering out behind the bushes or the tall grass. The eyes of your audience, your brain is telling you it's the same thing. Your brain is telling you it's dangerous. Now we know it's not. So we need to retrain or reframe the situation. There's a number of ways we can retrain our brain, and quite frankly, the one thing we can do is just simply do the thing that we're scared of, that we're afraid of. Get out there and deliver your presentation. But before that, it can be helpful to have a plan of action to create and put some processes into place so that your nervousness does not get the better of you. I recently had the opportunity to work with someone who was really apprehensive about emceeing a program. There was going to be close to 1,000 people in the room, and they were pretty freaked out about the fact that they were going to introduce these pretty famous people during the day and have to lead the group through some transitions. And anyway, my point is they implemented a few of these ideas that they did before, the days leading up to the presentation, the minutes leading up to the presentation, and they reported later that it went very well and they felt very calm and confident in front of that group. And that's my goal, is to help you feel calm and confident in front of a room. So let's talk about these things that you can do. Breathing techniques are very helpful. I've done a few videos on breathing techniques, but just know that when we're anxious or we're fearful, we have a tendency to breathe very shallowly and rapidly. So if we can remember, breathe deeply into your belly, and it doesn't have to be noticeable, but it can be very calming. And practicing a few deep breaths before you step out on stage, during the days before the event, anytime that anxiety arises in you and you think about it, practicing breathing can be a useful tool. Number 2 is create what I call a confidence pose. That's standing with your feet on the floor and it's chin lifted, shoulders back. It's a confidence, and stand as still as possible. You can move, but move with purpose. And even if you're seated, even if your presentation is on a virtual platform, sit tall in your chair and keep your feet flat on the floor. Then visualize success. First of all, know that your audience wants you to succeed. They want you to give an amazing presentation. No one ever goes and says, gee, I hope the speaker today is really boring. No, they say, hey, I hope this person is going to give me some good information. And even if it's a required meeting, even if you're speaking to a group at your company, they want you to succeed. They want it to go well. So know that your audience is behind you and they're secretly cheering you on. So visualize yourself giving a great presentation. Visualize it going really well. Visualize you speaking smoothly without any filler words. Whatever your favorite visual is of success, create that in your head and play it back. The other thing we know about our minds is it doesn't quite know the difference between what we tell it could happen and what actually does happen. So if we tell it a story over and over and over about how awful it's going to be, guess what? It's probably going to be awful. But if we tell it how amazing, how awesome, how much this is going to make a difference, chances are it will. Think about an affirmation or a mantra. Remember the words that follow I am. Your brain will put into place or will believe. So I am a confident speaker. I am an amazing speaker. I am going to give a great presentation. I am amazing. I am confident. I am whatever you want to say about what you're doing. Because if you say, I'm scared, I'm going to be bad, it's going to suck, guess what? Probably will. So reframe and challenge the words you're using and create new words or new mantras. And then grounding techniques can be really helpful. So one of my favorites is 5 things you can see, 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. That can keep you grounded and centered. So remember, your body has the same response to excitement as it does anxiety. So sweaty palms, rapid heartbeat, shallow breathing, all equated with, are all things that happen to us when we are excited about something. So the client I just told you about discovered she loves roller coasters. Didn't know that until we worked together. And the excitement she feels standing on that platform, we reframed the excitement of, or the nervousness, I should say, reframed nervousness into excitement before she stepped out on the platform, on the stage. So saw herself being an amazing MC, and she was, saw herself calm, cool, centered in the moment, and she was. So those techniques can really be helpful to you. If you have a technique that you've used that I haven't mentioned here, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from my viewers. So you can drop it in the comments below. And if you know somebody that could benefit from this video, please feel free to share it. And of course, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel so you get videos each and every week. See you next time.